What is going on, everybody? It's Jay, aka It's Summer Story here, back with another Phantom Parade sweep video. And today, obviously, we're using Summer Gojo as a support unit, A0. And people obviously would like my first impressions of the unit. And first things first, unit is very solid at A0. I already finished the tower showcase as I am recording the post commentary to this video. And I will say, anybody that was saying, "Oh, Gojo is mid at A0," um, it must suck to be wrong, as per usual, but with a lot of the community and their very hasty assumptions on a lot of things. This guy's a beast. And for people in the comments are like, who would dare say that A0 Gojo is mid? You would be surprised. The things I see in my comment sections, the things I see in my Discord server, things that I see in other content creators' Discord servers that I'm in close proximity of is pretty wild, I will say. But I will say for my time being of using this unit, he's a pretty monstrous one. I mean, first things first, y'all know that my favorite strategy in the game is alt loops. I feel like the best alt looping team in the game right now is currently this one right here, or at least one of the best alt looping teams in the game. I say it was probably top 3 alt loop teams in the game for sure. But y'all know that my original alt loop team was Shoko, Kusakabe, Yaga, Yuji, which is already a staple on the channel. Obviously, Gojo just completely eradicated Kusakabe out of existence. Sorry, my goat. But Gojo, the thing that surprised me the most about Gojo, especially at A0, was that he works so well under a double stat buffer comp. And that was my initial concern, because, okay, obviously, we have to take the damage formula into consideration whenever we are doing, team building processes, right? So I'm I wonder how, the double stat buffer rotation is really going to work out for the team. And obviously, Gojo does have some damage dealt in his skills, and that little damage dealt does assist the team enough to the point where it's okay, we can miss, a pure damage dealt buffer type unit like Kusakabe, and we can still work just well. And I mean, comboing up Gojo with Shoko is kind of the best route for you to be able to do, because obviously Shoko has that alt gauge buildup in her ultimate, so it makes the alt loops easier. And when you have easier alt loops, you know what that means. It quite literally just means that Gojo's going to stay in the battlefield longer. And it's really hard to get Gojo to leave if you have an established setup, right? Because that was a lot of people's initial concerns. It's oh yeah, is he going to stay the whole fight if you have him A0? And I'm going to say this. At A0, if you really want to, I've done a personal test where it's I pushed Gojo to stay in the fight for floor 90 purposely to 21 turns. So you can definitely have A0 Gojo stay for a very, very long time if you really want him to stay for a really, really long time. But I would say, once you do have an established setup, you won't really have to worry about him leaving. And if he does, I mean, by the time he leaves, you probably already are very close to clearing the stage in the first place. So a lot of people with I would say meta strong, or I would say well-rounded boxes, are going to feast very well while using this unit. And people with I guess you could say newer boxes are just going to strive off of using this unit as well. So there's kind of no losing having this guy, because initially I wasn't sure mentally about my placement on how I would rank him on the anniversary totem pole, but after using him myself, I would rank him fairly highly. If you were to say I'm pulling Gojo this Annie, I wouldn't even be mad at you whatsoever. I can't hold you, even though yellow is filled with really crazy support options. I mean, Gojo's kind of a support option that's really hard to say no to with everything that he does, of course, even at A0. I will say that another thing to take into consideration is that even though he does have those little damage dealt buffs, I will say I need to experiment using a damage dealt rec bit on a unit to see how that changes the scaling for ultimate damage. I need to experiment with that on Yuta in specific. I used an irreplaceable moment or irreplaceable memories. I keep forgetting the translation for it, but I've used this wreck bit just so Zone G can have more damage on like a per turn basis, and also like his ultimate without using the wreck bit could also do a fair bit of damage. All in all, this run was a prophesized 12 turn clear turned into a 13-1 because of RNG, I guess. That's the best way I'll put it. Y'all will see when we get to that point. But A0 first impressions, still a really solid unit nonetheless. You can't go wrong with meta supports in this game, and I'm just gonna say that all the time. Like, even though I do really enjoy Summer Yuji as like a unit, I'm always gonna tell y'all to go for support units. Always go for the supports, and then like obviously your DPS will naturally kind of get stronger afterwards. But this run that should have been a 12 turn clear turns into a 13 with a Shoko solo ult, and that leaves me on my outro as I go and record the post commentary for the tower showcase portion for GOJO. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord server in the channel bio. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers, but we recently hit 2.5k, so thank you for that. But most importantly, it's been Jay, aka It's Aloha Story, and I will see you guys later.